In this video, we will show you how to create a unique masquerade mask decorated with a feather design perfect for the carnival season. Let's start by creating the feathers. Start the ellipse tool and draw an oval shape. For the created shape, set the width to 30 mm and the height to 100 mm. I will use a bright color for the fill to get a better view. Feel free to customize your mask as you like. Now, draw a slightly curved vertical line to represent the shaft of the feather. Duplicate this line. Now, hold the Shift key down and select the oval shape. Use the knife tool to divide the oval into two parts. Move one side to create a little space between them. Now, using the freehand shapes tool, let's draw curved lines along each side of the divided oval shape to define the barb sections. After drawing each line, release the mouse button to close the section. The freehand tool remains active, so you can continue adding lines. Once you're done adding lines, right-click once to finalize this section. In this way, all lines will be combined into a single object. We will use these lines to divide each side into 6 parts. So, duplicate the set of lines, use the Mirror X option and move the lines on top of the opposite side. Using the knife tool, divide each side of the feather. Let's refine the shape a bit using the node editor. Move the outer top node of each section to create some space between the sections. Now, change the outer bottom node into a smooth one and move it slightly upwards for a natural look. Repeat for all sections. Let's add some texture. Select all feather parts and change the fill type to piping. Set the density to 1.5 mm and remove short long stitches for a light and fluffy appearance. Set the same color for the outline and the central line as well. Now, to make the central line resemble the shaft of a feather, set its type into satin serial and set the width at 3 mm. To be able to fully edit the shape of this line, we will convert this outline to object. Now we will adjust it using the node editor. We will make it pointy at the top and thicker at the bottom for a natural look. When you finish editing the central line, set Remove Overlaps to Never, as we want it to be embroidered on top of the barb sections. Using the Stitch Flow tool, you may change the direction of the stitches and fine-tune your design. Our feather is now ready. Keep in mind that it is a handy practice to keep such designs in the Clipart gallery for later use. To do so, select the feather design, go to Tools, Clipart Library, and select the Create Clipart option. Now, click and drag to create a reference line on top of the selected objects. Once you release the mouse, the Clipart Library dialog appears and the selection of objects has been added. Specify a name and you're done. This versatile design can be embroidered as a standalone piece or be used to embellish an array of different creations. Now, let's use our design to decorate a masquerade mask. Create a new design to insert the feather you have created. Go to Tools and select the Insert Clipart from the sub-menu. In the dialog box, write the name you'd use for the design to locate it and press the Insert button. Left-click to insert it in its original dimensions. This will be the central feather. Duplicate it, making sure that proportional is checked, and scale it to 85%. Place the duplicate next to the central one. Select a contrasting color and set the same color for the outline. Since the feather is grouped, unwanted outline has been added to the shaft. So simply use the node editor to select the shaft and remove the outline. Use the Stitch Flare tool to review the design and revise any section if necessary. Create another duplicate of the last feather. You may use the Mirror X option for a different inclination that will make the composition more playful. Repeat that process to add 2 more feathers, slightly smaller and in a different color, to complete the feathery decoration. Now, start the slow redraw to simulate the embroidery process. The sequence looks fine. For a more crisp outcome, I would eliminate the stacking stitches that are running through the feathery sections. Simply changing the entry-exit points can fix that. To do so, we need to switch to manual mode. Select the section you want, right-click, and choose the Change Entry Point option. The cursor will turn into a cross, and you can set a new entry point. Set it on the top corner of the section. Likewise, you may treat any other section. Continue the process until all sections are as you like them to be. Once you're done, select a proper hoop for the design, and you're ready to start embroidering. Let's create the mask. We will start with a new design and import the mask template. You may use the one provided with this tutorial or use anything you designed yourself or find online. Set the fill of the mask to Applique and remove the outline, as we only need the placement and the tack-down stitches. For a nicer outcome, add an auto border. Set it to the inside, set the distance to 5 mm, and the type to running. For this new shape, set a fill and outline color. I'm choosing stippling for the fill, commonly used for quilting projects, so that the area is filled with this type of irregular fill. For the outline, I'll select a decorative stitch style. We're almost done, but as always, let's check the sequence using slow redraw to ensure everything is as we want it to be. For the auto border shape, set remove overlaps to never for the decorative stitches to be embroidered above the applique part. Check the sequence once again, and that's it. Let's get to make it. For this project, you will need an embroidery hoop, water-soluble stabilizer, organza fabric, felt fabric, paper tape, and assorted threads. First, we'll make the feathers. Start by hooping one layer of water-soluble stabilizer along with a layer of organza fabric. Load the design on the machine. Since the feathers are visible from both sides, it's best to use the same color for both the upper and the bobbin thread to ensure a professional finish. Now, place the hoop on the machine and start embroidering. First is the central feather. Next come the two pink feathers. Last but not least, the smaller purple feathers. Now you can remove the hoop from the machine and remove the project out of the hoop. Carefully trim away the excess stabilizer along with the organza around the feathers. Now, use water to dissolve the remaining stabilizer. Let the embroidery dry on a flat surface, revealing the crisp design. To prevent the organza edges from fraying, carefully run a lighter flame along the edges. Be sure to work slowly and safely to avoid damaging the embroidery. And now to the fun part, that is, assembling the mask. Hoop one layer of stabilizer. You may want to use water-soluble for a truly double-faced finish. A plain stabilizer will also work fine, but it will remain visible at the backside. Load the design of the mask, attach the hoop on the machine and start embroidering. The machine will stitch the outline of the mask, and you may use this outline as a guide to place the feathers on the top part of the mask. Place them in any order and orientation you like, and secure them using paper tape. Cover the outline with a piece of felt fabric, again securing it with paper tape too. Continue with the holding stitches. These serve two purposes. Keep the feathers in place along with the top felt layer, and second, you may use them as a guide for cutting around the mask when the project is finished. Now comes the stippling stitch and the decorative outline, giving the mask its final details. When embroidery is finished, remove the hoop from the machine and remove the project out of the hoop. Use the outline stitches as a guide to trim around the shape of the mask. Be careful not to cut along the feathers. Notice that we cut it to the inside of the stitches, keeping only the part where the feathers are attached. Carefully cut out the holes for the eyes. Finally, trim the stabilizer along the edges or use water to dissolve it if you use a water-soluble one. Ready for the ball? Use this stunning embroidery masquerade mask to complement a carnival costume or even a theme decor around your house. It could also make an excellent gift which you may personalize even further. Do share with us your creations and don't forget to have a look at our other tutorials for more inspiration.